Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you want to join me on the path of being financially free, then this is the place to be. My name is Bernice Nolene, and for today's video, I'm going to talk about how I graduated debt-free. So if you're interested in that, then stay tuned. Let's get it, let's go. Period. Alright. So, like I said in previous videos, I graduated with my bachelor's in psychology of this year, and I graduated from Farmingdale State College. Yeah, you may not know about it, you may have heard about it. It is a smaller school in New York, and so I'm going to talk about how I was able to graduate debt-free. You heard that right. No student loans at all, debt-free. So I'll start all the way in the beginning. So when I was in the summer after I graduated from high school, I applied for this program that assists students with different forms of disabilities. I applied for this program. It's called Access VR. I believe it's located in New York, and I'm not too sure if they have other locations. But there's probably programs similar to the one that I received all over the United States. So Access VR is basically like a financial program that helps students with different forms of disabilities. It could be learning disability to physical disability or mental disability, and they assist those students financially. They assist with books, tuition, fees, and they pay a little bit of dorming. The dorming is not too much, but they assist a little bit with that as well. So when I was entering college, or before I entered college, I had to submit an application, and that took time, and then I had to wait a couple of months to see if I got accepted into the next level. And then I had to go in and kind of have an interview, and then they tell you if you're able, how are they able to help you, or if they're able to help you at all or not at all. So for my first year of college, they helped me out. They paid for my books, they paid for my tuition, and they paid for my fees. So sis was lit. We were lit. I was entering college. I was like, oh, no loans. I thought they were gonna be able to I thought I was going to be set for my 4 years, but But glory to God, they did help me for the first year. I did not have to come out of pocket for basically anything. And so that was it for my first year. So that's how I was able to do it. Then I applied for it. You had to basically submit your parents' financial stuff and all of that annually to see if you could still qualify for the assistance every single semester and sometimes every single year. So I was good for the first year, and then the second year I reapplied basically, and I didn't receive it. So I was like, oh boy, what am I gonna do? So I had applied I applied for the scholarship in the spring for it to help me in the fall. So luckily, the October before my fall semester, I applied for FAFSA as well. And FAFSA, if you don't know what that is, that's also another financial assistance program that could basically help you pay for college. So the original deadline for that, or when it opens, is in October, but I believe for this year they extended the process to December or something like that. You would have to do your research upon that. But I applied for FAFSA, I applied for the TAP scholarship, and I applied for the Zelsier scholarship. And so I received money from all three of those. And so that helped me for my second year of college, and that's how I was that's how I was able to pay for it. I also qualified for work study. So I'll get into the jobs in a little bit, all the jobs I had while going through college. But by applying for FAFSA, I was able to get work study, which is basically you're working on campus, and that also helped me pay for my fees and tuition bill. So that's what I did. So now I'm gonna jump into all the work stuff and jobs I had throughout college. My first job at college was an athletic trainer assistant. So basically for that job, I was in the athletic center. It wasn't even a hard job, truthfully. It's the most easiest job I think I kind of had. Basically, I cleaned the equipment. I filled up the ice bath that athletic people use. And then, what else? The only annoying thing was I had to like fill up jugs of water like every single day and bring it from one area of the building to another area of the building. That was annoying. And that was basically it. I did that for a few hours every single day after class. So you could say I had class from like 9 a.m. to about 2 p.m. And then I would go to the athletic center from about 2:30 to 5:30. So I would do 3 to 2 hours a day throughout the week. I got paid $15 an hour, which is really nothing, but it's something. So that was basically my first job. I did that throughout my college, Monday through Friday. I believe I worked like 5 or 4 days a week for a few hours, and then I saved that money to pay off and put in my savings and just to pay off any extra fees in the future. But basically that was kind of like pocket money and money I saved for my first year of college. The next job I worked was at McDonald's. So that was for the athletic trainer was my first year of college. My McDonald's kind of what I had my second, third year of college. So I would go to school, and then after school I would get dressed and go straight to work at McDonald's. McDonald's I would recommend if you are in college or you're in high school, because they help pay for tuition. So McDonald's pays $2,500 every year if you're an employee who works up to 15 hours a week. So if you work more than 15 hours a week, you'll qualify for the $2,500 scholarship, yearly scholarship. So they had helped me as well as still receiving the TAP and Excelsior scholarship. And the $2,500 is how I was able to pay for my second year of college. And then for my fourth year of college, I was still working at McDonald's, and then I also had an office assistant job. So that job was the same kind of setup as my first job. It was on campus, but it was hybrid position. So basically I would go into the office once a week and to talk to my supervisor for like an hour or so, and then the rest of my work would just be at home. And for that job I was in charge of like creating social media posts, and then also what else I did, I had to like research different organizations and different nonprofits, events that was happening in the school, and then notify my director about it, so then they could put that on the websites and social media, so then the student body is aware of what's going on campus. So those are all my jobs I had. Oh shoot, no, I had one last job. For my last semester I also worked as a teacher's floater at my children's center at my school. So for that job, it was an easy hire process. Interview was simple, probably about 30 minutes, about my experience, how I like working with kids. Got hired like literally on the spot. And then for that job, I would also same type of format for all my jobs. Went to class in the morning, to the early afternoon, and then I would go to work at the children's center from about 2 to 1 all the way to 5:30 p.m. when they close. So my 4 jobs was the athletic assistants, trainer, and then McDonald's office assistant and teacher's aide position. And so those were all the jobs I worked as I went through college. The next thing that helped support me to get through college financially free was the scholarships that I received. So I talked a little bit about it in the beginning. FAFSA was one of the ways I did that. SSVR was another way I did that. And then I also received the MOS scholarships, and I applied for that online. And I received $500 from them. It wasn't a lot, but it did cover the little fees that I had remaining on my balance. And then I received my McDonald's scholarships of $2,500. And then any refund check, like from during the pandemic, when everyone was like in person, the school gave basically relief funds to help their students out. So they gave about, I believe, like $500 to $1,000 per semester, and that was only for 2 semesters. I believe I received that. So that check helped cover the rest of my costs for school. I should also say, like, I had to also tap into a little bit of savings for my last semester to help me cover the rest of the fees, but I did not take out not one single loan. No loan was used whatsoever throughout my whole college experience. So those were the things that helped me out. So I'm going to tell you, while you're going through college, some things that you should do also is to review your financial aid balance monthly, especially every semester, because sometimes you may think that you're all set, you're all good, and you receive a scholarship or whatnot, but then when you check, you see that you have a remaining balance. And so for one situation that I did, or I faced in college, is I was supposed to receive my McDonald's scholarship of $2,500. But when I checked I submitted all of that off, and when I checked my balance, I saw that I had a remaining balance of an X amount. And I'm like, that don't make sense because I'm supposed to be 0. And so I checked, and I saw that instead of them putting in $2,500, they only put $250. And I was like, hold up, wait a minute. No. I was calling back and forth, talking with the people to get that fixed, because I was like, why am I not cleared? Because if you're not cleared by a certain date, sometimes that could stop you from registering for another class, and you just get holds on your account. So that I couldn't register for another class, and I was like, what's going on? And so it was because the people who was in charge of the financial stuff inputted my scholarship wrong. So that's why I would say always check your financial aid account, always check your student account, student portal, whatever they call it, because you just want to stay on top of that and just make sure that every scholarship that you receive is being inputted accurately and correctly. Another thing that helped me graduate college debt-free is me living at home for my college experience. I did not have to go and dorm for my college. I stayed home and commuted. For the most part, after my freshman year, I only had classes 4 days a week. So I would commute back and forth for those 4 days. That helped me have no dorming, no housing fees. Also, I did not have a meal plan at all, which is also a couple $100 or $1,000 depending on what school you go to. So I did not do no extra fees that I didn't have to. I did not pay for extra meals. I had buy lunch at the campus store. But the reason why I did not buy meals is because sometimes I did not buy a meal every single day, and also I sometimes brought lunch from work or lunch from home, and so it was a waste of money for me to pay a whole bunch of hundreds of dollars if I'm not even using it. So I did not buy those things. Also, another thing that I did was buy my textbooks from online. Didn't buy them at all, or I rented them from the campus bookstore. If you can, before buying any textbooks in the campus store, I would suggest you to see if there's an online version of it first, because for the most, I'm just being honest, you probably use only 2%, like, I'm just being honest, you barely are going to use that textbook depending on what class and program you're in. But I know for my program, I only use a couple pages out of a textbook compared to the 2,000 pages that is in it. So I first looked online and see if I could find the e-version of any textbook that my teachers offered. I also waited to buy my textbook like the week after classes begin, because sometimes professors, they can have a free code for textbooks. Sometimes they have access to the textbook online, and sometimes it's put on the syllabus but you don't even need it, and they won't tell you that until the first or second day of class. So I would suggest to not buy your textbooks before your first class begin. I see what the professor says, because sometimes you really do not need it. Sometimes you can find a friend in the class and you can split and share a textbook together. Sometimes that textbook you could just easily find in the library. Go to the library after class for 1 hour, look at the textbook, do your homework, and bring it back to the librarian. So that's what I had to do. And last but not least, one advice that I would have taken the first year of college is to use a website. It's called ratemyprofessors.com. So before entering college, like as a freshman, I didn't really know too much about this website, but trust me, you should use it before registering for any class. You see the professor's name, you type it in the website, and you see what other students rate that professor. Because if you see a professor that has a score of 1 or 2, you know not to take them. So that can avoid you from failing and you having to retake a class, which is holding you back, which is wasting more money, and it's just a ripple effect. So that's why I added this to the list. Use a Rate My Professor, get the professor that's going to be best for you, and you see that the students that they had, they really appreciated them and they really loved them, and they made the transition of becoming a college student really easy. So by doing all of these things, I was able to graduate debt-free, literally debt-free. I do not have any loans. I am cleared and I finished graduating. And so this is how I did it, and this is some ways that you can do it too. So if you have any advice or anything you relate to or anything you are going to input, drop it down in the comments below. And don't forget to share this with a younger sibling, cousin, friend, anyone who's about to enter college. Definitely share this video with them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys come back tomorrow for Vlogmas day number 10. Alright, we are out. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.